Hello everyone. Okay, today I'm gonna do another sketchbook tour. But first, small talk. I cut my hair. I don't really know how I feel about it. I kind of miss having like my little. I'm surprised that I didn't just chop it all off. To be honest, I was like, I hate it. But I didn't buzz it, so that's a step in the right direction. I also went to the gym alone this morning. I'm waiting for the round of applause. Thank you, thank you. Anyways, sketchbook tour. Today we're gonna be touring the anxietea sketchbook. My weirdest. Okay, I finished it sometime in 2022, so about a year long sketchbook right here. The back has a frog, and this is actually one of my favorite sketchbooks. I don't remember where I got it from. I have no idea where I got it from, but I love the size, I love the shape, I love the quality of the paper because it could handle pretty much everything that I wanted to do in it. And it had this little pocket in the back where I can stick like extra papers. So yeah, I just don't remember where I got it from. But anyways, sketchbook tour time. I had this my last year of high school going into college. So you can see I love decorating. This sketchbook has a very clear vibe going. This is technically the first page in this sketchbook, I would say. I was really into creating characters, and I was really into K-pop. So of course I would create like these idol characters who had these huge stories. I'm really into telling stories with my art, but I feel like the story might not always be obvious, which isn't really the point, but you know, this was my first time really working with gouache. I, for a while, treated them a little more like watercolor than I did gouache. And here's a little poem that I wrote. For a while, I was really into doing like hatching for my shading. So that's gonna be a common theme. This is a self-portrait of me in a frog hat because I really wanted a frog hat. These are just some silly little frogs. I was really into frogs at the time. I still am. I love frogs all the time. But my partner at the time really liked it when I drew silly little things. They just thought it was really cute. This one is also gouache. I remember submitting this one to my, what's it called? Portfolio for AuCAD. This is another self-portrait. At the time, I was kind of struggling with my personal identity. I had a lot going on at the time. I really liked this one. This, in my head, was gonna be like the cover of a kid's book about like a lonely frog. This is me practicing my perspective work, which is something I still struggle with so much. But practicing perspective is like a nail on a chalkboard. But I remember doing this and like actually kind of having fun with it. This is not going to make a lot of sense right now, but it was for a painting that my grandma wanted me to do. I genuinely have no idea what inspired this character, but I do love this character. It's very cutesy. And I love these piercings. One day I'm gonna ask a piercer if I have the anatomy for it, because I'm not sure. Oh, another classic here. So these, oh wait, oh my god, what happened? My sketchbook got a little wet at the top. Anyways, these like little pens, they're called the Stablos. These ones. One of my favorite pens to work with, just because they like don't really run out of ink. The flow is very nice, and I get all these fun colors. And then I liked to use water-based markers for filling in areas. Very fun. I want to live here one day. This is my D&D character Bum. I feel like we've seen a lot of him, surprisingly, for how little that I draw him. But I remember my DM depicting us at like a masquerade party of sorts or something like that. I think it was like a one-shot that we did. This is him getting way too drunk, having fun at a bar. Oh, and this is the commission that I was talking about for my grandma. I ended up going with this idea, actually. I was just painting like a mural in the house. I really like drawing mushrooms. They're such fun little shapes, and they have all these weird nook and crannies that you can add shadows to, and it's just so much fun. So yeah, you're gonna see a lot of the Stablo pens in here, they were just like my main medium at the time. So yeah, again, the Stablo pens. I just wanted to do something like that was really colorful. Another gouache portrait. Gouache this, please. Oh, okay, so it must have been a sketch that I wanted to do in gouache. But yeah. Fun fact, I am a hopeless romantic for sure. The theme here is the red string theory, and yeah. Anyways, hopeless romantic, that's me. I actually really like this shade of purple combined with this shade of purple, and I just have a lot of fun playing around with like stickers in my sketchbook. I feel like I don't do that as much anymore, but I still have a severe sticker addiction. I am collecting stickers left and right. This was a project I did for my digital arts academy. We were online at this point because of COVID, but oh yeah, this was me planning out one of my finals for that class, actually. If I have any of it, I'll throw it on screen, but I don't think I have any of the raw photographs for it. I just have like my Instagram post. Gouache frog. I'm very impressed with this sketchbook and how it handled all this like gouache in like wet mediums. This I did in Prismacolor. I love playing around with Prismacolor. I think this is a failed attempt at one of my art class pieces. I was in Art 1 for my senior year of high school because I just needed to fill up a class. Obviously, I was obsessed with that piercing. This is another self-portrait. I was going through a lot of depression at the time. I was homeless. I was ultimately just trying my best. There's gonna be a lot of just like weird themes in this sketchbook, and a lot of uninspired art mixed with art inspired by pain. So yeah, this is actually a very direct sketch about how I feel like my depression is always gonna come back no matter what I do, which is kind of true, but I feel like as an adult I've been able to handle it much better. I believe this is actually around the time that I got accepted into the school that I wanted to as well. So I feel like the depression mixed with, I do not like this portrait. Here's some of the like weird themes that I was talking about. Drew a lot of mouths. I was very interested in teeth for a second. It's actually one of my favorite portraits. I did this in gouache, and I really like the deep blue. I believe that is ultramarine blue. I think this is a statue that's outside the school. I can't really remember. But yeah, I think I was drawing that. And this is a baby portrait of my brother when he was a baby. This is me practicing architecture and backgrounds, drawing buildings. It is interesting to me, but for some reason, like, I can never get myself to sit down and actually do it. So I feel like this piece, it looks a little unfinished, and I feel like I just got bored of it. But doing stuff like this is way more interesting to me. Like, I can sit down and do art like this all the time. But that's not what makes you a better artist. You gotta practice. Practice. Things that you're not comfortable with, you know? This is when I got my Posca pens. I think I got like an Amazon gift card or something, so I just used that to buy Poscas. So that's around like Christmas time. More mushrooms. I really like this shade of blue. One of my favorite shades of blue. This is actually one of my favorite shades of orange. I think this was a piece that I messed up on, and so I just kind of went with it, and it turned out pretty cool. If you can see the two different faces in there. I feel like in this sketchbook, I also started my obsession with marker and pencil. This is my like two favorite mediums now, I think. Oh wait, did I skip a page? My bad, I skipped a page. This is a character that I had since I was very, very young. In the back of the sketchbook, there's actually these two cutouts that I had of this character I made when I was like in elementary school. And so I did like the adult grown-up version of her. There's more of these characters lying around somewhere. some more gouache. I feel like the last part of this sketchbook is when my depression started to get like really, really bad. And I just, for the life of me, could not make a piece that I actually liked. There's a lot of detailing in this book. Marker. This is a character that you'll probably see pretty often. I draw her at least once a year, but I think I might start incorporating her into some stories. Comic book writing is not something I've really been interested in, but maybe one day. I got actually kind of inspired by the messed up page, so I tried it again with both the faces in the same direction. I think I like the other one better, but the way that the faces line up in this one's also interesting, because the eyes, the nose, and the lip, I'm pretty sure I did this on purpose. I'm not just like some, but practicing more environments. I actually really like this portrait. I like the way that the cracks in the face look so delicate. It's a very delicate portrait, and I really like it. Yeah, this is kind of what I mean when I say I was losing it a bit towards the end here. But I got really into like surrealism for a second, and I still like wasn't making anything that I was proud of or that I liked at all. And then I kind of ended it on a I kind of ended it on a low note here with this like weird strawberry. Maybe not even a low note. It's just I didn't really know what I was doing anymore, because so that was my anxiety sketchbook. Again, I wasn't expecting it to be so depressing. So sorry about that. I forgot what high school was like for me, and this was a transitional sketchbook. I remember I started this around the same time that I started the one that I just toured. I had them kind of simultaneously. These two, I had them kind of simultaneously for a minute. This one I started in 2019. This one I started in like 2020. But so like as I was halfway through this one, I started working on this one. I do that all the time with my sketchbooks. Right now I'm working on this one and this one. So it's just a thing that I do. I never have like one sketchbook at a time. But yeah, that was really interesting. This was right in between / after this sketchbook, and my depression got so bad, and I was still like doing my best, but from the story that I just told you guys, from the story that I just witnessed, like looking back at my sketchbook, I'm thinking, how the fuck did you survive that? I'm genuinely like, holy shit, how did you do that? I don't know. I have actually no idea I survived that. But what I eventually did, I was in art school for maybe a month. I did not survive more than a month. But I saved so much money because this was my dream. I started working at like 17 maybe. I saved all the money that I got from working, and trust me, I was being abused at my job. But by the time that I got into school, I saved up enough to be in school, and so I would be in school, find a place to sleep. I didn't have a car yet. I would come back to the valley. I would sleep at my partner's house, or my partner's parents' house, and I would work the weekend. So it began to be too much, and so I decided to quit art school because it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. I really enjoyed one of my classes. I would say maybe two. I had an English teacher who was very, I don't know what it was about her class, but I really liked it. And then I really liked my figure studying. I really enjoyed figure studying. That class was very interesting to be in. But my course that I was taking was for like specifically character design. It was like a creative character design something. And the teacher for that class sucked so much. And when I say sucked, I mean like literally sucked the life out of that class. He was so rigid. I think he said he's like a retired toy manufacturer, or like toy designer, which like kind of makes sense for you to be teaching a class, but I just don't think that was the class he should have been teaching. Because it just felt like the opposite of what I came to learn. But yeah, I ended up just walking out on his class. Actually, I grabbed my stuff, I put it away, I walked out like maybe an hour early into the class. I ended up living with my partner's family. I bought a car. My grandma asked me to move back in with her because she was having a hard time doing things around the house. So I came back, I had a place to live, and I bought a car with the money that I saved to go to school. And I just started working, and I have been working ever since. I still have plenty of sketchbooks to go through. And oh my god, that was a trip down memory lane that I was not expecting to go down. But yeah, never give up. Never give up, because I am looking back and I still don't know how I got out of it, but I only know that I got out of it because I didn't give up. So yeah, be kind, be loving, and be a good person. If you're not a good person, then don't watch my videos.